Okay. We'll go ahead and get started on time. Appreciate all of y'all being here. Of course, this is a important public hearing that we have every year, where if you have any questions for us or if we have any questions for you, we can publicly ask that. And also for the public, if they want to question any of the departments, we represent them with the Sheriff's Department, jail, Chambers is here, EMA, got Alex here, have Sarah, she's there for their 4-H, we have our chamber, Dade Alliance Library. Are you on by yourself or is the others just you? Okay. We have DJJ. You here for that, Carolyn? I guess. Okay. And Kevin's got 30 minutes. A 30-minute speech he's got to make with the DA tonight. So he said that. No, that's what he's got right here. Yeah, 30 minutes if you. Yeah. And have a public defender. Have a good representative. We got our county assessor's office represented. Our Don's even here. He's represented. Have our transportation, have our senior Annette's back there. She's hiding. Yeah. Oh yeah. DFAX, appreciate y'all being here. Yeah. Got a good Stacy back there with our Parks and Rec, and appreciate all y'all being here. Although it is important that you be here. Yeah. And Jared's here with maintenance. It's a pretty big chunk of it. But does any one of you, anyone here right now, though, want to actually kind of start it off? And if you got any questions for us or anything that, there comes our Mr. Back. He's with our Development Authority. Anyone here that really wants to, has got anything on their mind that they want to actually stand up and say or ask us or anything you want to say about your department? This has been online, and people have had a chance to look at this out in, the actual people in the county. And, some of them went up, some of them went down, some of them stayed the same. But anyone got anything they want to share? Because you are on TV right now. You're in a lot of Dade County. This is a well-watched, channel that with our YouTube channel, and plus it'll be on KWIN also. Is it live now on KWIN too?
Live on Facebook, YouTube, and KWIN.
Okay, all right. I know for one, I want to say I appreciate everyone working with us. You've always in the past years we've had some really, really tough times, and it's we've had we've really had a lot of good cooperation from our constitutional officers and our department heads and all. I feel that all of you realize, what your job is, and that you are a public servant. And from what I've seen this year, there's nothing changed. Y'all are very conservative. We've not agreed in all the meetings, this and that, but all in all, I really appreciate all of you. And I think the people, if they could just see what we do and what we have to actually work with as far as funds, I think most of them would appreciate it. But Don, I'm gonna go ahead. If y'all don't have anything you want to say, I'll go ahead and just ask you to speak, and because you put a lot of time in this too, you and Becca.
Well, it's going to call on Kathy.
Really?
Kathy needed to step out a little early. You want to say anything, Kathy, first? Come on, Kathy. Come on down. The mic is hot.
Yeah, put it right up here.
First off, Kathy Johnson, County Director here in Dade County for DFAX, and I just want to thank you guys first and foremost for all the support that you give us throughout. Especially this past year, it's been very difficult. Our office remains open right now by appointments.
Do you know when that's going to change? I mean, that's
we
been
did have a
some
leadership
discussion
meeting
on
today with the state office, and it's going to continue until at least September at this time.
September?
That's
okay.
correct.
All right.
And if I get any changes prior to then, we'll let you guys know. Again, that is based on the federal government and what they allow the states to do. And right now, they have agreed for that to remain until September. Any other questions regarding that?
No, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's our main. And we have calls. It's not, just people just all up and mad. They just have that question that, and some of them asked, they said, well, the governor said, okay, everything's back to normal. Our people are going back. And, y'all are a state.
We're
agency, so-
still open, it's
Yeah.
just by appointment, and they can call, main
Yeah.
number. And then, right now, our receptionist is setting part-time in Dade County, and Walker County's also helping out. So we average right around 180, 200 calls a day.
Yeah.
So if the phone is not answered immediately, please leave a message. And
That's
they are
between the two counties, or that
That's
three?
correct, between the two
Dade
counties.
and Walker only, okay. That's a lot of calls.
And that, and right now, just like everybody else, we are hiring. We're gonna have some posts coming out. You guys can just share with us when I get those.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some positions filled.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get that, then we'll share that with the county.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it'd be nice to get some Dade County people in here,
Yeah, okay. All right.
get opportunities. But, moving on for our budget, you guys, our foremost is just to prevent foster care entries. That's where the majority of our budget goes to, is helping families if they need a couple of nights in a hotel while we help them get their home situated. We help families out with that. We've helped families get gas, they can get children to medical appointments. We've helped tons of children in foster care with clothing allowance. Our foster kids and our families here that we serve are very appreciative of the funds that you guys give us. So first, we can keep kids from in foster care if possible.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that it's put to good use. It's for the kids, for our families, and try to maintain the children here in Dade County.
Okay.
So any questions?
I thought you were going to come and cut it 20% and say, hey, guess. No, we appreciate that. We know it's not a job I know it's not a job I would want. I mean, it's really hard. Diane served on the board there for several years, and it really brought me a little closer to what y'all really do. And some of the cases that happen, that people don't think about. They go to, everything's good, and they go home and they get up and go to work and go do things on weekend. But we've got people and got families in this county that really people don't realize what they go through, and we've got children that don't realize what they go home to.
And I think
it's sad.
the biggest thing that's kind of this past year was we partnered real close with Family Connections and with you guys as well. We used to do the Glow Run every year, and then when the pandemic hit, we weren't able to do that for the past 2 years. But we did see a decrease in intakes coming in of child abuse through that. So I do think that was some good education. So hopefully, moving forward with things getting better with the pandemic, we can get that back going, because it did see a big correlation in a decrease of abuse cases.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Any questions?
Thank you, guys.
What is she under on this?
What now?
Is she under defects or what's she under?
Yeah, Department of Family Children Services.
That's what I was, make sure I was looking at the right thing.
What is it under?
Any other questions?
What was it under?
Department of Family Children Services.
I did not see it.
Maybe we took you out. Maybe you're not in the budget.
Thank you for your gift.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. I might add too, though, that this has got proposed on it, and what that means is just what it is. Between now and Thursday of next week, which is our, this can change, and it will change some. So, and I'm talking to you in the room, I'm talking to everyone out there, and that's what proposed means, Because there's, we've got a lot of other numbers to look at, we got a lot of things to look at before we actually finalize this thing. It's gonna be real close, we know, but, did y'all find what you're looking for?
I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, anyone else want to come up?
We have Mr. Kevin Ball from the District Attorney's Office.
I didn't know you had a list,
I'm
Don.
going to assist him to come on up to the podium.
Kevin Ball, he is our Chief Assistant DA, and he's also a Dade Countyan, thank goodness. Yeah, he is good. I've known Kevin for many, many years. And Kevin, we'll turn it over to you.
Chair, members of the commission, I'm standing in for Mr. Arndt today because he is at a training for new prosecutors. This is a training that he's participated in for the last 25 years. He leads a team, and he's actually leading that process this week. That's why I'm standing in. Mr. Arndt sent y'all a letter. Basically, there's a few different areas we're asking for an increase. We do at the outset want y'all to know, these requests are based on needs, not wants. If we were just going after things we wanted, we could have a list, miles long of things. We historically, our office has been very judicious with the county's money, and it's our intention to continue being judicious with the county's money. The first area, Mr. Arndt's asking for an increase is in salary for the attorneys. And for those of y'all who aren't aware, we follow first of all, Dade County is part of a 4-county circuit for our office. Dade County's percentage is 9% of the overall budget. We share allocations with Chattooga, Walker, and Catoosa counties. Our attorneys follow the state salary pay scale that's sort of set by PAC. Outside of last year.
And what that means is, when you say PAC, because you're talking to people who don't
Prosecuting
really.
Attorneys Council, that's
That's
the statewide
Yeah,
commission.
it's statewide, yeah.
And outside of last year, where PAC, obviously due to COVID, had a freeze on salaries, this is something that every year the attorneys are entitled to. So this is making sure our county paid employees are treated the same as our state paid employees. So that's the first increase in Mr. Arndt's proposed budget. The second item is a new item. It's supplements for certain staff and certain ADAs. And just so y'all understand how that works, typically in the Atlanta area, I told you we had 2 different kinds of employees, the state paid and the county paid. In the Atlanta area, the county paid attorneys and the more experienced attorneys are actually on the county scale. And some of these attorneys are the more experienced attorneys who are making 2 and 3 times somewhat of what the newer attorneys make. The farther you get away from Atlanta and sort of the more rural areas, the state paid folks are actually the highest paid folks. And so our higher salaries are going to be on the state scale. So to compete with that and basically, incentivize attorneys to be anywhere other than Atlanta because they would make more money doing what we do in the Atlanta area. Some of the more rural areas outside of our circuit offer county paid supplements. And we are the only circuit in this area that currently do not offer one to our employees. I can tell you that within the last year, we've lost 3 attorneys, one of which to a neighboring circuit that offers a supplement. To the south, Floyd County, in addition to the state pay scale, pays a $5,000 supplement to all attorneys. Whitfield County starts at $4,500 per attorney, and it only goes up with experience, as I understand how that works. We are not asking for that much initially. We've included a small supplement starting out for all of our attorneys to be able to compete with that, simply to be able to incentivize attorneys to stay and compete and be competitive with the neighboring circuits.
And there again, our share of that supplement is 9%, is that what?
Correct.
Yeah,
So
so we got,
it's a
Walker's a big
relative-
one, they're the big, the largest, and then you got.
The overall, and
Yeah.
we've not got, the total increase is just over 13,000 for Dade County's part. So it's a small increase relative to our overall budget. The third area Mr. Arndt is asking for an increase relates to sort of some of the backlog related to COVID. Obviously, for a year, just until most recently in April, we weren't allowed to have jury trials. So we have, maybe not necessarily in Dade. We actually knocked a good amount of the calendar out in Dade this last term with Judge House. But certainly in some of the other counties, we're anticipating a little bit of an increase in terms of our expert witnesses and court reporting fees and things associated with trying cases, witness fees, be able to lodge them and get airfare with the increased number of cases that we're going to have coming out of COVID. The fourth area, Mr. Arndt's asking for in another position, an appellate attorney. We have a number of attorneys in our office. We don't have somebody assigned full-time to handle our appeals, and this is an area where we're seeing, based on some of the recent case law the Supreme Court came out with, we're seeing an increase in the number of appeals that are being filed pro se. One particular ruling, the Supreme Court allows pro se defendants, even years after their guilty plea, to basically challenge their conviction. We actually have a case in Dade County right now where a defendant pled guilty. He was a serial child molester back in 2000. He received a life served 30 sentence. Even though we're 20 years into his sentence, we're having to backtrack and track down transcripts and court reporters and things like that, trying to fight and make sure that he stays in prison.
And that's what this person.
This person would handle
We assign.
all of the appeals, and we're getting a wave, and that's just one example. We're getting a wave of those across our 4 counties. We don't have, right now our attorneys are having to basically juggle their caseload their trial terms, and in the middle of these, getting notices from the Court of Appeals and Supreme Court and having to spend time working on appellate issues. And we, for years, have needed somebody in this position, kind of like the Public Defender's Office have somebody that's assigned full-time to handle that, and that's what we're asking for. And then finally, there's a small increase for Mr. Arndt is updating our social media platform, and we've got a website, and there's a small fee associated with getting that started. They're ultimately going to turn over control to us, but they have to train us how to basically update and use it. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Hopefully that wasn't a 30-minute speech.
Thank you. No, that's good. You did good. I had my clock on.
You were going to cut me off, sir.
Appreciate it, Kevin. Anyone else that want to come up and talk? Feel free. I thought you was going to jump up, Barry. Oh, man.
Well, I was going to say the nemesis of the DA is Chad Johnson, the PD. So if he would just highlight some of his budget information, that would be wonderful.
I don't know if nemesis is the right word, but there is a healthy adversarial system, which is the way it should be. I'm also asking for a small budget increase.
Tell everybody who you are.
Sure.
Just tell,
I'm Chad Johnson. I'm the Circuit Public Defender for the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit. Have been so for about a year now. And as Mr. Boss said, our circuit covers the 4 counties, Catoosa, Walker, Dade, and Chattooga counties, and I head up the Public Defender Office that covers all 4 of those counties. And we're also asking for a small increase. One of the things, Mr. Ball mentioned that they've had 3 people from his office go over to other jobs, leave their jobs. His office has actually poached 2 of my people over the past about 16 months or so. And in both cases, both of those individuals received higher salaries at the DA's office. So as much as Mr. Baugh and the DA's office would like to have more money for their people, we also would like to have more money for ours to keep up with theirs. Actually, if you look at the statutory pay scales, the district attorney's pay scale is higher than the public defender pay scale on an even basis. So if you're, if you've got exactly the same public defender and DA at the same level, the DA's automatically be a little bit higher. And I don't know if that's an oversight or that's a state situation, and certainly not in Dade County. But the long and short of it is we want to be able to attract and to maintain the best people that we can. And so we're asking for basically the only budget increase is personnel. That's the only thing that we're asking for any increase in, and it's just so my people can earn a living for their family and do this and don't have to worry about, well, I'll just do this for a couple of years and move on to something more lucrative. We want to make career public defenders, and so we got to be able to incentivize that.
Okay. All right. Any questions, Lauren? Robert? No. Melissa? Okay. We appreciate you.
Thank
you
you.
for being
Thank
here.
you so much. Appreciate the council.
Anyone else?
Oh, I think I heard Lisa Eubanks with the library was going to say a few words.
Library. You don't, you can if you want to. I mean, it's up
No,
to
we
you.
do. We want to hear you.
Yeah.
You tell us about your school partners too, and
Yes,
CARES Act funding and.
Yes, we had requests to our other funding agencies. The public library, I'm Lisa Eubanks, the director of the Cherokee Regional Library System. We have 4 branches. Dade County, the only library in Dade County. We have 3 libraries in Walker County. And in this county, the library is funded by the local taxing dollars. We get very little state money. It pays for a few books. It does fund the regional library that supports our libraries. But we rely on the county, you guys, and the appropriation you give us, the city of Trenton, and the school board. So we have reached out to the school board this year for an increase and a small increase from you guys. What we're trying to do is to get a youth education coordinator with benefits. We're only open 34 hours at this library. My Walker County libraries are open 40. We really need to get this library open 40. So we reached out because the school board had cut their appropriation quite deeply a few years back. They're working their way back up to where they were. They're still not there yet. So we reached out, we met with them. I'm just not sure if they're able to help us at the rate in which we need it this year. So we're certainly not coming to you for that full amount, but we do have a small increase that we're asking for you to help us work toward getting that youth education coordinator in a full-time status. The benefits portion is what's so hard, and it's a $10,000 hit to our budget to put that person at 30 hours or more to pay for our portion of the benefits. And really, you can't keep someone in a position asking them to do what we do for the children of this community and not invest in them with benefits and at least 30 hours a week. So what you guys do for us and take care of the building and is just allows us to do what we do. So the $2,000 extra I think that we're asking will help us to make some advances toward getting that youth education coordinator in a full-time status. But I do appreciate the opportunity to thank you all personally for what you do for the library, and we love being here in this community and serving you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
You do a good job, though. We know, we appreciate it. We really do. And I know the county, especially the people that use it and understand, they do appreciate and y'all do a good job.
Got amazing staff over there, and I know you guys
You really
do.
do.
That. We really do.
Really
We want to keep that. We've been going through a youth education coordinator a couple of years, because we can't keep one without the benefits. So we really are working toward that. So Thank you for your help.
Any questions? Anybody? Okay. All right, thank you. Please. Okay, Don, you want to?
So we got Carolyn Bradford.
And open your comments up, because like I said, you and Becca and
Yeah, Carolyn,
all of us,
come on.
but you spent a lot of time on this, so you want to?
Uh-oh, we got the
Pendulum swinging to the right for your, whatever it's called,
Oh, here's the chairman of the school board now. Are y'all cutting what? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not doing the school board. I'm wearing,
You're wearing a different hat.
yes, wearing a different hat tonight. I'm Carolyn Bradford, and I work for the Dade County Juvenile Court Judge. And he is the judge of 4 counties, Dade, Walker, and Chattooga. And so we have an annual budget. He does part-time at all the
Dade Walker in Chattooga or Catoosa?
Dade, Walker, and Chattooga.
Chattooga, okay.
Chattooga. And so our budget is staying the same, or is the same, and we're pretty much, we're under budget right now, but we've had a year that's been very different, so we don't know how it's going to go next year. But
Yeah.
I look for the numbers of some things to increase.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause especially the year that we've had, and like our DA and public defender said, these cases have been froze, and y'all been kind of, it's been touch and go. Of course, you have to hear some cases. You got to emergency way, but I know y'all been backlogged too, and just kind of, so, yeah. But we appreciate y'all. Appreciate you holding it level,
Yeah.
We did. Any questions? Ms. Blair?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think it's Barry's turn, Barry Irwin of the Sheriff's Office. And his may be a little lengthy. He's a lot of papers.
Recite all this. Okay, hi everybody. Major Barry Irwin with Dade County Sheriff's Office, and first off, I want to say thank you for all you have done for us. This Sheriff's Office, I mean, law enforcement in general today is kind of a rough topic in certain circles, but here we're right at home, and we appreciate everything the taxpayers and the commissioners have done for us. This year we're asking for some increases. Most of the stuff that we're asking for increases on are things that are completely out of our control. Group insurance, payroll and taxes, repair and maintenance. Those are things that just are built into a fleet. They're built into having several people. I'm pretty sure that we're the largest part of the budget too.
No, you are. The sheriff department and the jail.
Yeah.
On any county.
We're the behemoth.
Yeah, you're big numbers, yeah.
Yeah, so we're asking for some increases along those lines. Again, most of the areas are areas that we just cannot control. Fuel, I think we're staying the same, but part-time employees, payroll taxes with increases. What we've been fighting is a loss of people, quality trained people that have jail experience, law enforcement experience, mandated officers, and they leave to go places that make more money. And along with most of the people in here, I want to try to keep those people to where they can support their families, have a career, and not have to work 3 or 4 extra jobs. That's the, where I'm hoping we can get to. But that's really about it. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Well, to touch on your group insurance, as a whole, we, as a county, now this is your department, but we actually changed the insurance companies this year, it was a hard thing to do, but it didn't take long to figure out, because they're Blue Cross Blue Shield, they came back at us with almost a 50% increase, 47%. And so we did go out, we went out as we do every year, and we did change the providers, and we still had a little increase. What did it finally, what was the percentage? Was it 12.1 or, 12%? So we did get that down, and so that's a good thing. But things like that are totally, like you said, out of your control. But we try to do what we can do here to control it, but it is what it is. And as most people know that are out in the work field or out, that is a big part of your workforce. As far as keeping them or not, is benefits, and that benefit, you've got to have it, just about.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions for Barry?
Barry, point out about the, y'all bring in $125,000 in revenue for just SROs. Just talk a little bit about that partnership.
Yeah, there's a partnership with Dade County, the DCE, the education, with the superintendent, which actually started many, many, many years ago. I think back in the 1990s, didn't it?
94, I think.
Yeah. So it's been a long partnership, but this is the first time, this year, I think, is the first time that we've had 4 SROs, and that really came about with school safety, school security. We started seeing the need for it more and more and more, and small places out of the way or getting attacked. And we saw the need to have an officer there, along with the education portion of it. Our officers work with the kids, work with the faculty, and the school board in turn pays half of their salary for us, which is an incredible thing because we could never supply it. There's minimum staffing requirements on the road. We just couldn't staff 4. So with them covering that extra, we're able to do it. And what a great thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
We appreciate what you do for our citizens, especially our children. We appreciate the school board.
Anyone else on your roll call there?
Sarah Dyer is here and was probably one of the easiest budgets this year. But still go ahead and say a few words.
Well, that's why I'm impressed you called on me, because I hope I was your easiest. What was proposed is actually what I was okay with and we agreed on. So there were some things in my mind that I thought we could see increases on, but I know we've all had a rough year and things have been very uncertain. So we were able to stay under budget this year. I think that we can manage it next year, and I don't see a need to go ahead and push the.
What's some of the things you think you need of it? Just give us.
Sure, yeah. So just to give a little bit of perspective, about 80% of our budget is towards our staff and towards our salaries or taxes, that type of thing. The rest of that is towards general supplies or things that we may need. So as we build our programs and as we build towards having more events at the Ag Center, there's a few things that I think we could use. Jared, I believe, is in here, and he's experienced, we've had a lot of problems like with our bathrooms recently, so more facility type stuff. I know that's something maybe we can talk about in terms of SPLOST, because we were mentioned under facilities in the last SPLOST that was passed. So maybe it would be better suited out of that budget instead.
What would, that anything like that. So, so that's pretty much the major thing you're looking at. I mean, y'all are all right probably as far as, we got the van finally, and we got your let's see, what else? We got, was it a trailer, I think, that you pulled? Of course, that was before you came. Yeah, is there any equipment? And I'm not saying it's something we can do at this budget, but it's pretty interesting for you to let us know, and the people out there, if you got things out there that, that might be, that you might need, because y'all do a good job, and you touch more children than a lot of people realize, and you're touching them at an age that, that's where those two roads are at. They could go down either one of them, and I know, in that age group, so, it's good to talk about it in public, you know what I mean? The things that you do need.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're hoping to use our van a lot this summer since we didn't get to last summer after we got it. And that's an example. We never got to see how our gasoline budget would work now with multiple vehicles. So now that we'll be using the van more, we can see how that goes. So.
Okay. We appreciate all you do then. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
And I do want to take this time to say that we do appreciate all the support we get from the county. Like other departments, we are partly state funded and county commission funded, as well as we receive a small portion from the Board of Education towards one of our employees too. So we appreciate the support. I know without those three parties working together, our office would not function. So trying to figure out how it all can piece together can be tough sometimes, but we really appreciate the support.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Anyone else, Don?
Is
You got
Joe,
on your
where'd
list?
Joe go? Joseph. I guess we.
I think he fainted.
You cut it.
in the back.
If we said cut his budget, I bet he would
left,
run in here
yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Stacy Stevens is back here and was asking me to.
You got
push him-
anything you wanna say,
Push him on
Stacy? I
up to
mean-
the top.
No, you don't have to. I mean, it's whatever you want.
Oh, you don't need a new lawnmower or anything? Okay. Never mind. We'll cut that.
I think Angie Galloway should give us about a 30-minute.
Oh, there's Joe.
There comes Joe.
Sorry, Conrad.
Just go over a few things, just to kind of calm down there, just
All right.
take it easy.
My name is Captain Chambers. I'm with the Dade County Jail. In spite of everything that's gone on, I think we're looking pretty decent on winding up this budget year that we're in. I think we're going to be right on the line, if not a little bit under. Coming out of COVID, I think it's pretty decent, and the challenges that we've had with it. Having minimal bed space has been a challenge, and that's where it comes good, having a close relationship with the district attorney's office, Judge House. Jennifer Hartline, I was on the phone with her this morning about an issue that was going to cost the county a lot of money if we retained it. So we work well together. I appreciate the different departments. Maintenance department, my building's over 30 years old.
Oh, we know.
Runs 24/7, 365.
I see the bills.
Yeah.
I see them come across. And
So, but
don't,
yeah,
don't ask for a new jail though, because it ain't gonna happen. No.
just putting that down there.
We'll replace a commode or two, but we're not.
We're going to do the best we can with what we've got, and we're going to keep moving forward. As far as staffing, I know I'm trying not to compete with McDonald's.
Yeah.
Is who I'm trying not to compete with.
And what he means with that, people out there in TV land and YouTube, is he's trying not to compete with salaries, because McDonald's, your fast food restaurants, like a lot of people, cannot hire people. They can't get people to work. We got jailers over there that are making less than people at McDonald's or Burger King or Hardee's or whatever. Yeah.
Right, flipping burgers.
That's handling our prisoners. So, yeah.
And then, of course, the last grand jury that met, they also brought up staffing issues, not necessarily from a standpoint of pay, but it was put in the grand jury report that we were a little bit under. I think I should be able to rectify that with one more person instead of just bringing a whole slew in. I can make some arrangements inside with the ranking structure that I got and fix that problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Does anybody got any questions?
Any questions?
I will say this, Joe, one thing that came in on your budget this year, I know you've had the maintenance our maintenance guy, which is Jared Hogan over there, working with y'all a lot, changing your light bulbs. If you want to talk about your fixtures and your light bulbs, what that did to your bills.
Turning the outside lighting into LED, when we done that a couple of years ago, it kind of shocked me because it calculated about a 12% drop on our side of the electric bill. And then I think this year you decreased us by a couple of thousand.
It went down 5,000, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So.
It makes a difference. Yeah.
And we still don't, there's still, I mean, you know, Jared, with all the buildings that he's got to keep up with, we still got jobs scheduled, but you know, if he's having to be at the seniors building or wherever, I mean, there's stuff that's more important at the time. But we're still planning on continuing them changes, you know, to lower. I was kind of appalled at that. Even the water bill, we've went to a new fixture. Of course, the fixtures that are changed out are the originals at 30 years old. So the newer ones have even calculated into a little bit of a decrease on the water bill. And then I apologize, but the housing revenue, Don, you got that right in front of you? I know I just turned a check in a couple of weeks ago.
Housing revenue. I gave that sheet to you. It's got your current. I don't know who's got it. Huh? 125,000.
That's the budget.
It's down.
No, yeah, the actual
That's the
though.
budget.
Actual.
I can look it up though. Keep on talking a minute.
So it's been, I know, I was hoping we would come in about a couple 100,000 on the housing, but COVID again has affected that number. So we're coming on the other side of it, and we're starting to pick up. And then there's also, we're looking at some other, hopefully,
Revenue.
contracts and revenue maybe going forward that we can supply Chattooga County with other services.
What Joe's talking about for some of you out there watching on
91.
the YouTube or whatever is a few years ago he's worked a deal out with Chattooga County, which says, you know, they have a jail, but they can't have it. I'm sorry, whoever that is, I'll call you back. I promise you. Bring me. He worked a deal there with the county to house prisoners. We have a few vacant beds. We're not at capacity, and that's turned into a pretty good revenue generator for us. And we usually, if it was going, forget COVID, we were averaging about at least 35 or 40 with them over a year's time. You know, sometimes you had 60 or 50 or whatever, I guess. And it helps them out, plus it helps us because that is revenue. That's money coming in, generated. And it don't hurt us. He knows and he understands. Joe's real good at it. It's not going to hurt us at all if we get too close to our capacity of our prisoners. Of course, we don't take them in. But it really has helped us out, you know, and we appreciate that. And he's always looking. He's always out there looking for something to generate money. And it's hard to do in a jail. I'll tell you that right now. But,
and I'd just like to point out, you know, I work for, you know, the commissioners and the taxpayers.
Yeah.
I'm available if anybody has any question about any time of the year. Give me a call. I'd be more than happy to show folks around or sit down and talk to you about whatever.
That number was 91,000, and you know, we leave our books open for about 60 days and almost always bring in quite a bit more from Chattooga. Now they've gotten better at paying the last couple of years, but yeah. So it'll probably be right at 120, 125.
No, that's good. I mean, it is. It's a plus, you know. But we appreciate it. Any questions for Joe?
Appreciate all the inmate labor that you furnish for this county too.
You know, I wished it could, I'd like to have more inmates working. The whole corrections element has changed around a little bit about what we keep in jail. Of course, I'm very particular about who's out in our community. You know, what little bit we can help, we're glad to.
It's a big help. I mean,
It is. Yeah, definitely.
see them every time at the transfer station. They were down there today sweating. And
Yeah.
good guys, so.
Well,
We
it
appreciate
shows
it.
that great minds think alike, because I was gonna say the same thing back then. When we look at these guys out here mowing the grass, things that we would have to do anyway.
Right.
The entire amnesty day, I mean, those guys work tirelessly down there all day long. So
And
to be able to have
did their
it.
best.
They're not a revenue to the county, but they're doing a lot of things that have to be done.
Right.
That would be, contracted out to people who keeping the grass and whatever. Y'all do a great job with that, providing them to football games on Friday nights to clean up the mess from the stands and I'm sure other sports as well, any, events that we have that they can go and work, and it's really something that people see them all the time, but you don't realize that is a revenue to the county that's not, you don't put a dollar amount on it.
Saving us money.
Yeah. And, they take, for the most part, most all that we've had out there, has took pride in working and helping, especially the elderly at the transfer station and the.
Never have to get out.
Yes, yeah. So, they've got rules and expectations of working down there, and they're, it's a plus for them too. They enjoy what they do. So we're very selective about what comes out.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Good job.
I appreciate it. Anyone else on your list there, Don?
Angie doesn't want to come up, but our new tax commissioner, which has been here forever, by the way, she's actually under budget this year, and we're thankful for that. She's working hard. You want to say anything, or is that enough? Are you happy? You're happy, all right. Well, no, we did not cut her. She voluntarily made some cuts, which is very awesome.
She did the very first year she was in office too, didn't she?
Yeah, first year.
That's right, first year. Been there, how many years have you worked
3.
in-house? 28 years, and this is your first year taking over as an elected official, so thank goodness, you fell right in and doing a good job. We appreciate you.
Rodney Ross is in the back. He is with the fire departments. I'm sure he is just itching to get up there to talk, but let me say this.
No, Rodney's shaking his, he's shaking his head.
The supplement for our fire departments have not changed. It's the same, but you'll notice a difference on their budgets, and what that is, some use the fuel from the county, some don't use the fuel. And but those that do use the fuel and then use more parts or whatever for maintenance, they're billed for that at the top of that budget. You'll see that. So it's just it's a wash 100%. But overall, we appreciate them for their diligence, and they really always stick to their budget. We've never had a problem with any fire department in Dade County, which is wonderful. Alex is back here, and Alex has got about 3, 4, 5 budgets. So I'll just let him take those in order, whatever he needs to. Mr. Case.
Very small part of a big old team of these budgets, so it's just not Alex. I always state that. But I am Alex Case, Director of Emergency Services under the County Commission, and our main department is E911, and that's one of our bigger budgets. Again, we're a 24/7, 365 office that answers all the calls for 911 inside this county, and Thomas Lyons is one of our supervisors back there running some of the audio, and we were running some numbers on some yearly stuff, working with some of our neighbors. And as Major Irwin, Captain Chambers, the DA, and public defenders said, we're trying to keep our people. And when you go and see all these signs and they're paying more than what we got our people, that we're calling in for life-saving measures. We want people to stay here and be here, a part of that Dade County. So we appreciate the Commission's fight to push towards that, to get us, keep our people here. As you all know, we've had tremendous turnover in several of our departments. I think me and Joe keep a good total of turnover sometimes, it seemed like, for a while, but we want to keep these folks here because it's expensive to train them. And when somebody calls 911, we want a sheriff's office, an ambulance, or a volunteer fire department within 60 seconds moving to that call. So when people answer, Dade 911, where's your emergency? We want those people that can handle that, get it, and get people moving. That's how quick we try to move in there and then get better information. So our biggest increase for the 911, again, is our people, group insurance, and everything with that. So we have great folks in there. We've been full for quite a while. I'm very pleased with everybody. Everybody's doing well. We see, like some of us, we wear a few hats as Thomas is starting to help us with IT and this new visual audio system that we have here. We do what we need to help with the county. Emergency management is the next division under mine, and that's under us for, again, we do have a couple folks that help with that. Ansel Smith, which is the assistant chief at Trenton, and also a deputy coroner here for the county, and Chief Jerry Kaiser. But all agencies are part of emergency management. They're actually on us as deputy EMA directors, as field operations, out getting visual stuff. But it's also a very large budget, but it's also increased because of this year of the storm shelters that we have received. And that's nearly a $798,000 inline budget, but it's also an inline revenue that we will be getting back from FEMA. So there's a good bit of money in the budget. Why it's up is one of the reasons is the EMA. We will be, we're working on the sites, getting contractors. It is hard to get contractors moving, as we've seen with the concrete issues a few months ago with Trenton. We're dealing with the same guys to get footing contracts and pricing on steel. These things are very particular. They have to be within a quarter inch of the whole flat. These things have got to take a 250 mile per hour wind. They're large, they're deep, and a lot of steel. So pricing is still coming in, and we got to follow our procurement process from our financial folks. And it's tough. We've had to go outside our area because everybody's so busy. So that'll be another project that we'll run through. We are requesting an extension with FEMA. They were supposed to be done by August.
No, yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So we've already been in contact with our writer. We got to send another letter signed by myself and Ted to ask for another extension, explaining why. A lot of it we can deal with what happened last year with all the stopping and FEMA understands that. We just got to follow the process. So that's the big thing with that. Emergency management can be at any time as logistics to any of the public safety division. We're there to help them provide what they need to do. FEMA requires the states, and the states require us. And these mitigation grants have helped us since 2011 and more. We've been very blessed with additional generators for our water and sewer. Now the outdoor warning sirens, we have 3 of them, and then hopefully by mid next year we'll have these 3 community shelters for severe weather needed. The next biggest one is our EMS contract, our EMS budget. Again, we have part-time employees, which are paramedics and EMTs and advanced EMTs, and we worked with our current provider for several years and come to the 5-year year to rebid, in which we went through, as you know, and we had a large increase. But we also asked for some better services. As y'all know, we had a lot of issues with having no coverage and extended times. And since we built the plan with us and Walker, 2 individual contracts, but the plan we built for coverage has been really well. It has been very minimal times, and it's within seconds. And your Dade 911 dispatchers and your Walker 911 dispatchers are dispatching. We don't have a third party of the provider. They let us move based on our zone coverages for Dade and Walker. We're doing a little tweaking with it. There's a station in Walker that truck's been there since February, and it's got nearly 30,000 miles on it because it's floating so much. It's don't do a lot of calls in the area, and it helps us with floats as well too. But we are going to be changing some staging locations to just stay on top of Lookout Mountain. Because when we go over there, they cancel, and we got to go to the bottom, turn around, come back. And when Walker truck's coming over here, just within minutes, they're getting trucks moved down to the hospital quicker, and us with dispatch. So that's one of the things that we're going to start changing at the end of this month. So Chief Hodge, myself, Paul Feaster, their director, and they've got a new operations manager that we're meeting with week after next to discuss some of those things. Again, we're providing the trucks, which was bought with some SPLOST funds in the past, and the current CARES Act that we just finished last year. These trucks run 24/7. They don't run 12-hour shifts, kind of like our police department, our sheriffs and police department, and our fire trucks when we can. These trucks are running around the clock with different folks. We average 5,000 to 6,000 miles a month on each truck. Billy can attest to the oil changes that we're doing and the flat tires, and we've had just crazy stuff since we started in February, because we went from maintaining 1 truck to 4 trucks, because you got to have a backup. When that 911 phone rings, as part of our contract, we got to get it going. So kudos to Billy, Josh, Doug, all the guys in their shop that takes care of this stuff. There's weekends we've had to go and do things, and we can't be without, so I appreciate them. The next one that we actually work on as well is our IT. Myself, Daniel Jones, Assistant Director 911, is actually our IT Manager Director, and then Thomas Lyons is also starting to help us as well with this. As you know, all departments are, we have all of our buildings connected together. We're on our Exchange server. Commissioner Lowry talked about cyber security stuff. It is changing daily, as we've seen with the gas issue. We're constantly up to date quarterly with our engineers out of Chattanooga that we've been with since '06. Since I've been here since '05, and this company come in and we work with these people all the time. We have laptops, all of our cell phones that get email, so many things that we do. We got nearly close to 150 items out there within our county, and that's a lot to keep up with. And we always have potential, and we have a lot of stuff in front of our system that lets us know how many times we're hitting a day. When we stay on this, it's changing. The good hackers keep the bad hackers out is actually how it works. And these companies and these solutions that we pay for, it costs us. We got to protect our infrastructure. If this building was to get blown up or catch on fire, we still got to pay all of our officers and do everything. We got to be able to recover quickly, and that's what we can do. We can either move to the senior building or the city hall. We got to be able to get our stuff back up and start paying people. We still got to work. So we're right at $100,000 in that budget, and there's not been much increase. Besides, we have one salary out of there is Mr. Jones. We moved that several years ago when IT was built. We stay up to date on that, and when y'all ask us questions, we do, and we just don't tell everything that we do, because it's just, we got to keep ourselves safe, and that's just what we do. We have public Wi-Fi in all of our buildings, and we have our internal Wi-Fis, and when we done some changing the other day, we had over 2,000 systems trying to hit off our public Wi-Fi within a few hours of live streaming stuff. That people just run by, they sit out, and we were just watching and looking, because things are crazy how they hit us. And it's not in our, what we call our Dade GA network, but it's just amazing how many people are around hitting us and stuff. So broadband, you hear us talking about it all the time, and that's where the world's moving, to have constant connectivity to do what they got to do. But we also got to protect ourselves, because there's a lot of things that we got. I believe that's all my departments. Don also always throws me the animal control budget. I can talk about that, but what we do is when we do have issues, the Dade County Sheriff's Office handles all the issues or calls into 911 when there's an animal issue, a bite to a child, dangerous, vicious animals. The sheriff's deputies are responding. They get out there and make a call to 911 or by radio. And the county is always contracted with the City of Trenton Animal Control. And they either call Mr. Ronnie Page or Keith out, and they rotate call to go out and take care of that animal, put it up, and they charge us a housing fee. If something ever happens to those animals and they have to be euthanized under court or anything, that comes to us, which also probably in a lot of time that gets billed back to the owner. So that's what that is. That's all I have.
Any questions, pal?
Going to the, Alex talking about the cyber attacks, I just had a class with ACCG on managing disasters, which before has always been tornadoes, floods. But I think it's Clayton County.
Yep.
Their lady, EMA director, got a call. She said 4 o'clock in the morning, we've been hit and everything we got's in jeopardy. It shut them down, and it was not. Her only thing was, Alex, and you'll love this, she told this to the room, our system was so old, they didn't really know how to hack it, what to do with it.
Yeah.
So
systems are changing so quick and so fast. You know, when we come to you every year, in every splosh, there's 2 big systems that we got to update. It's our Dade GA government network, switches, firewalls, and software that helps us. Those servers are running 24/7. Commissioner Bradford come and looked at that the other day when we were in there getting something for her computer. And these things go obsolete, and a lot of it is because of licensing rights through Microsoft. A lot of our server platforms are on 2016 servers right now. 19 is there, but a lot of softwares are not running on that. So who's to say where we'll be in our new splosh when we come saying, hey, and that's what the health of our system, our engineers with Networks Incorporated, Lightfoot keeps us with. They know what we got. They know how Kathy Page's office works, because it's a lot of our stuff has to go out to the state. The way Angie's office works, going to 2 different spots for tax records and for car records for the things. She's having to take those those workstations, she hits 2 different networks off the same computer. So now credit card payments and things like that, it's just keeps us on our toes, and the sheriff and them got a gentleman from Walker County to come in to help with a New World system. We know the man really well, so we're excited that he can also give us a little help as we're getting pulled more ways. And but the first priority that we always take is emergency services and 911. When we're almost seeing 47,000 incidents last year that actually called in that required a dispatcher to do something. You think one call can make 5 different incidents. It's volunteer fire, at least 2 departments on that, the sheriff's office, the GSP, and then a lot of times Billy, when we have storms, we dispatch the public works, and they're all out different times of the night. We got to make sure those guys are safe as well too. So.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Back is the only person left that.
Do what now?
Mr. Back over here with Economic Development and has some guests, I think maybe with the Alliance for Dade.
We'll have a few words here. I want to just say a few words in support of our wonderful Alliance for Dade, which is our Chamber of Commerce. They've been doing a great job getting a lot of members. They've started a lot of projects, laying a great foundation for the future. It's all being done by volunteers. I'm thinking that today is a good time to talk about some county funding to help them achieve the next level, to get there. And to do that, the Alliance, the Chamber of Commerce, will need an executive director, a person to run the day-to-day operations of the organization. There's a lot of tasks, and George will speak to that in just a moment. They have a big volunteer organization that have undertaken lots and lots of projects. And we'd like to see that the county help the chamber do a great job for the county. It's something that I think could be very beneficial for our community. It's all being done by volunteers. George and Marcy here. George and Marcy Williams are volunteers in chief. They both spend many, many hundreds of hours helping the organization get started. And they've demonstrated outstanding leadership in bringing people in and getting the projects off the ground. So if I may, I'd just like to have George make some comments. Go ahead.
Are you speaking for the Industrial Development Authority? I mean, are you? I'm sorry, that's old news.
Yeah.
The Economic Development Authority, and are y'all, are you speaking as a representative for them?
No, I'm here for the.
Are you saying y'all are going to take some of your money and help fund them?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm just asking you because you're here. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Well, I'm here on behalf of the Dade County Economic Development Office, actually the county and the city. And the Alliance has already started to be a great partner with what we'll call the Economic Development Office, which is also part of that is the Industrial Development Authority, Dade County. And that it's been important, something that we in industrial development have been looking for a long time, because so many times when a company is thinking about moving to a community, they're not going to call economic development, they're not going to call industrial development, they don't know what that is, but they'll call the Chamber of Commerce.
They call the Chamber of Commerce, that's right.
And they'll get, we have a live operator there, a person who's been very receptive, who's basically a tourism person, paid for out of tourism dollars, hotel taxes. And we've had at least 3 contacts that have come to me, people who were thinking of moving here. One person moved here, had an issue with Georgia Power. A lot of my job is problem solving with companies that are already here or maybe thinking of coming here. I want to make it as inviting as possible for companies to come to Dade County if they're good businesses, if they're going to have good paying jobs. So I really, really like to see a good Chamber of Commerce functioning in our community. I think just about every other community in the region has one. We have one now, but it's really just bare bones, volunteers primarily, one part-time person to help with tourism. And we think it can be a huge benefit to our community, both the tourism, economic development, making our community a better place to live for the people who are here.
Okay.
So if I may.
Bring George.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Before George gets up, I would like to say something to William back.
Yes, sir.
when we come to funding, you did offer to quit carrying full-time insurance and go on medic.
That's right. That would save the county.
To help.
Yeah, about
fund some of them.
$6,700. So that'll be a little bit that I can kick in.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, absolutely.
Thank you, William, for that introduction. Thank you, Commission, for all that you do and what you have done for the Alliance, and also being a championship level member of the Alliance, so we appreciate that. I'm George Williams. I'm the chairman of the All Volunteer Board, and we serve as the Chamber of Commerce for the county. I'm here to request from the county one thing in funding, and that's for us to be able to for you to partially fund an executive director or a president, whatever we call that person. Right now, many of our volunteers are busy, as William mentioned, developing the Dade Expo. We're working on a business directory. We're working with the sports complex to try to promote it more and get more activities at the sports complex. We're working on networking events. We had one successful one so far, and we're planning the second one for early August. We're managing a great website, installing signage around the area for tourism or ways to point towards our welcome center. And we're planning holiday events and been part of holiday events to bring more visitors to Dade County. But there's a lot more to be done, and there's only so much we can expect from volunteers. A chamber president or executive director is often the first contact point for a business that's trying to settle in Dade County. So it's very important that they talk to to a good person the very first call. This person would also arrange speakers for our networking events, which would be open to the community. This president would plan bringing visitors with events to Dade County and would promote tourism. Also keep this group appraised of what's going on and any other elected officials so that they know how the chamber is working with them and vice versa. Apply for grants. Manage the volunteer staff. We have some great volunteers. They're willing to put a lot of effort into this. They want to see this succeed. So a president could help manage all those efforts, as well as work with other volunteer organizations in the community. And the president be responsible for raising money to keep the chamber going. So our request is for a base of $10,000 and for an additional amount would be to match membership up to a maximum of $15,000. We feel a strong partnership between Dade County and the Chamber of Commerce is important to drawing people who would spend money in our county, bring good jobs, and make Dade County an even better place to live and work. So, without this funding support, the Alliance cannot afford on our own to do things that are very important to Dade County. Our volunteers, dedicated as they are, cannot be effective as a president who could be there 40 hours a week or more doing that job. At the Alliance for Dade, we want to do everything we can to be a strong advocate for county government, preserving the heritage of Dade County, bring small businesses to Dade County, and help as we can to increase tax revenues. So we encourage you, the commissioners, to make this investment in our chamber, to help bring the kind of professional that we need to make these programs happen and make us a successful organization. So I want to end by saying I want to thank you for serious consideration around that. And certainly if you have any questions or concerns, I'm available anytime. I'll give you my card later so that you have my phone number and email address. But we would like you to take serious consideration into funding us for that. And you have a group that's really dedicated to making this a success. And we just want to
kind of take it over the goal line now and keep working on it. So thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Now, we talked, when you came to me, and I think you've talked to every commissioner, and, a lot of people know this, a lot of people don't, but the chamber or the Dade Alliance is not a government entity. So if we give the chamber anything, whether it's $1 or $10,000 or whatever, we have to have a contract, an agreement to show that if we do give the chamber or the alliance any money, what they are giving back to the taxpayers of Dade County, because this money they're asking for is tax money, your money. And so I just want people to know that, we went through this several times with different chambers, over the years. And, and I think all of us, we're going to be fair with you. And we know you're doing a good job, And whether you get that much, I don't know, but I think we're going to help you. But it's, we're going to be fair with you, I put it that way.
Okay.
And if we do that, like I said, and it'll be a contract similar to what we had about years ago, with the chamber. I've seen went through maybe 3 different contracts, and one of those were, that after a certain amount of time that the chamber would be self-sufficient. That didn't work out. Back then it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We were given quite a bit of money there, and they came and they gave us a report every meeting of exactly people contacts and what they had done for the past months,
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes you might have to do it, maybe every 2 months, come in and say, this is what's been going on. So, but we appreciate y'all coming. We appreciate what you're doing in the county.
We appreciate your help and certainly give us some nice consideration. So thank you.
All right. Don?
The only thing I've got left, unless anyone else wants to say something, is just to point out that the current FY21 budget is sitting right at around $12.2 million. This proposed budget is, for FY22, is $13.2 million. That's $1 million. So the 3 big things are $160,000 for the increase to insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, which the county's been with for 15 years plus, I don't know, I forgot. Anthem, also known as Anthem, was proposing a 45% increase. That was a $640,000 increase. We couldn't do it. The commissioners would have loved to stay with Anthem, but we just can't do that. So 160,000 is hard enough to take, but so that's a 12% increase. So in addition to the 160, we have 800,000, which is FEMA. It's the FEMA grant, which is a direct offset for the storm shelters. And then also $300,000 increase over last year's for the EMS ambulance, the CHI Memorial Ambulance contract. Those things right there are the 3 big items causing the budget to go up. Now, FEMA is a one-time thing. It'll go away next year. Will something else pop up? I have no idea. As Robert can attest, we live day to day. We don't know when the next flood or tornado or whatever's coming through. We're thankful to have the money that they've granted us here for this. EMS will go down because we wouldn't get in the weeds, but it actually will go down next year a little bit. Believe it or not, a contract that actually goes down. But over time, it may go back up, probably. Last time I checked, everything's up at the store. So it's just more expensive, But those are the 3 big things. I just want to point that out. And we are working on balancing it. We have to pass a balanced budget. We will pass a balanced budget. We have every year, and we will propose one next week.
And the commissioners, our whole goal, as always, every year, is we've got to pass a balanced budget, but pass a balanced budget without a millage rate increase. And I, for one, I'm not going to vote for a big millage rate increase. That's why this says proposed.
That's right.
So when we get the numbers together and we really, where we're going to come to. So it might not come to that. We've got a lot to look at. We got growth. We got a lot of stuff. So That's why I keep stressing this word across here proposed. And appreciate all of y'all being here tonight. If you got anything else to say, stand up. Let's hear it, you know. And Don, you got Becca, you over there, you wait. You got anything you want to add? Because you put a lot of time in this. Man, I'm telling you.
Becca has done a lot of work.
What a worker, you know. But commissioners, you got anything you want to add?
I'm proud of everybody working with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Philip. He's not here, but he was in a hayfield, I'll be honest with you, and he's just, you know, really, if you've ever been in the middle of this, you know, you got to get it while you can. And I told him, I've been watching this right here, if he had any comments or anything, but Philip, he couldn't make it in that, but he will be here next Thursday. He's not going to Disney or anywhere. Poor
God.
I'm not going to go. Scotty.
Did he get Scotty?
Oh, Lord, Scotty got in all kind of hot water because of the year we actually had a little tax increase. He was not here, and he was going to Disney because he had plans. I'm not going to go there anyway. But I do appreciate everyone. Appreciate you working with us. Makes me proud to have people like y'all to work with, because you really are, you know, whether the people realize it or not, you're in it for the right reason, and you know what public servants are. And I think all our commissioners do. So we appreciate you, and if there's no further, I'll go ahead and adjourn this public hearing. Thank you all. Appreciate it.